Wella, how are you guys? Hope people are really having fun. The United fans all over the world. This is one of the channels that really unites us and really puts us together, and that is the United Matters channel. How are you guys? And when you're watching us from I go by the names of Rock and David, smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David is my name, and as it stands, it is really one of those moments that obviously come up to see to it that everything really goes on in the right way possible. Second video of the day, and we're going to be really buzzing you with the latest news and information as far as Manchester United is concerned. But as we speak right now, it's not all well in the camp of Manchester United, and looks like we are walking down the valley of surging injuries that we even had last season. And guess what? It's now close to 5 or 6 players injured, and I'm like, oh my god, when will we ever overcome this? Is it a spell that once Erik ten Hag out and a new manager comes in? All that and more into the next minutes. We are going to be discussing it to the fullest and see how the board is really going to overcome this. Does Erik ten Hag have a squad that can come up and obviously overcome these such injuries? Smash the like button close to 200 times, and don't forget to subscribe because we want to hit 20,000 subscribers. And I'm calling upon for you people to obviously come up and really start voting for one of our sponsors and he goes by the names of I Dental Care, and the link is in the description box below. You go vote for that person and the rest will be history. You get vote for I Dental Care in these awards. We want to bring this award, and I'll be very excited to see to it that everything really goes on as planned. So I Dental Care is the way to go, and go ahead and really vote them because they are partners onto this channel. So please go ahead and really vote them hugely. Please don't shame me. Even if you're outside Africa or where, go ahead and obviously vote, and the rest will be history. Now, we obviously have bad news from the club of Manchester United, and the first story sorry, the first person to obviously withdraw was Alejandro Garnacho. You know that very well. Garnacho was the first person to obviously withdraw from the the internationals of it was from the internationals of Argentina, and you know that very well. And he came up and obviously said the following after the announcement was made. He said, I had knee problems in the last 2 matches, and I won't be able to be with the national team. I hope to recover soon so I can be on the next date. Now, it shows you how bad this has gonna hate to go, and Garnacho was like, I only have to use these 2 weeks to obviously find myself in a position of not featuring for my national team and see to it that I use them to fully recover. And for Alejandro Garnacho, it's really one of those moments that you have to obviously come up and obviously feel like, all right, he really deserves to be rested. And this is where you ask yourself, this is why Ten Hag never had to play him maybe the full 90 against the team called FC Porto. Then he played full 90 when we are really taking on the side of Aston Villa over the weekend. That is a huge question. But one thing Garnacho has to obviously learn from Cristiano Ronaldo, his mentor, his role model, is that he has to keep himself variable. And Ten Hag one time said that a player has to play through pain sometimes to obviously see to it that he delivers. You remember when we beat Man City by 2-1, Rashford looked like he had what we call a muscle injury, and when he had that muscular injury, you saw what happened. He really went off, and the second half he came up. I think they had given him an injection. He even went ahead to score the winner as we beat Man City by 2-1, meaning that every player has to play through injury. And I know Garnacho has the phone number, and he talks to Ronaldo, and I think Ronaldo is really giving him the best advice. And I think was one of those people that told him, please don't go for Argentina, because your career, Argentina won't make your career. the club will make your career. So give so much time to your club and not so much time to your country. After all, you are not even into the starting 11 of Argentina. Every time you go there, you play less minutes. Sometimes you are even one of the unused substitutes. So stay at Manchester United, heal fully, and you'll obviously see yourself becoming that kind of player that you are. And I think Garnacho will handle himself better. He has not been this kind of player who has been injury prone, apart from that was it an ankle injury that went ahead to get when Kyle Walker-Peters put in what we call a Caesar tackle. Garnacho has been that kind of player that has really gone ahead to show up. And this season, I think he has 4 goals and 4 assists. What a way for him to do the needful. But him being injured really leaves us really worried. I tell you, I'm worried a little bit about him, because you have to ask yourself, what's the extent of the injury and how long is he going to be kept out? You know, is it just for precaution or it's really serious? We wait to hear from the physical side, and I'm going to be letting you know what the physios have gone ahead to say about that. Then the other player, Mainoo, also pulled out of the England national team. And remember, before he pulled out of the England national team, he got out of the game of Liverpool towards the end of half-time. Towards the half-time, and he was off. He never played in the game of FC Porto, however much United traveled with him. He came on and really played some 80 minutes when playing against Aston Villa. And I think for Mainoo, it might be precaution, and it might have not be very worrying to obviously have him sidelined and see that after the 2 weeks, Mainoo will be back and ready. And I think he needs that rest. He needs that rest because ever since he started playing for Manchester United last year in November, he hasn't gone ahead to rest. After the season, he went ahead to play against the side of to play in the Euros for England. He returned, he rested for, I think, for some two weeks, and because the the Euro finals were played on the 14th of July, and he returned, I think, at Carrington, I think in the first week of August, right, like a week to the start of the season. And for your information, that Sunday had to play before 17th, meaning that he played around the 11th, because on the 11th, that's when he played against Man City, 10th, 11th in the Community Shield. And after that, Man United came up and obviously put in a very huge shift. So I believe Mainoo is not that injured, and we wait to see the report coming in from the physios. The other one is Mazraoui. This is the worrying bit. He has the worrying statements I've gone ahead to see people put out in here onto the media outlets, that his injury is really one of those that is still being assessed till now after pulling out of the Morocco national team. So if it's Garnacho, Mazraoui, and Mainoo, those are 3, but we have another one. We have another huge one, and it's of a player called Amad Diallo. You get? Amad Diallo has flown back to Manchester United because of illness, and we don't know whether it's illness. The French reports are really talking about illness, but they're talking about illness, and this is Manchester United France. They've said Amad Diallo returns to Manchester United after missing Ivory Coast matches, right? Then they added Amad withdrawn from the Ivory Coast squad due to illness. Get well soon. So if it's illness, I think in a space of like 6-7 days, he'll be healed, and by the time the club of Manchester United starts to train for the game of Bournemouth, of which we don't know who the manager is going to be, we'll be here waiting to see what will be put onto the table. You understand? So we wait and see how that pans out, but it's all about Amad Diallo. You get also injured, and by the way, he never even played any minute when you're playing against Aston Villa, and I think he was fresh, eager to play for Ivory Coast, but I tell you what, things haven't gone ahead obviously go the right way. And when you look at Ivory Coast, they are playing into They are playing into the African qualifiers. And remember, they are the defending champions of the African Cup of Nations. And it's tomorrow when they're really playing against Sierra Leone. And on Tuesday 15th, they'll be playing against Sierra Leone. Is going to be a double header. Now, you ask yourself, was it only illness, or he really has a little bit of a knock into his body parts that are really used for this beautiful game of football? I go for knock, because if it was just something simple, they would have gone ahead, obviously, tell him that, please, let us come in through and put in the required shift possible. So, we wait and see how that pans out. But the side of Amadi Diallo is back, and for him an assessment is going to be made, and I think in 1 or 2 days we'll be knowing exactly what is happening. For Harry Maguire, we all know that he's injured, and he went ahead of it to put out a post, and he was like, this life, you know. And I know what is really very much hurting for Harry Maguire. It's because he felt like he's in the last year of his contract at Manchester United, but there is a further option here. And if at all he kept himself fit, maybe he would have gone ahead to convince the people around Manchester United to obviously offer him a new contract. But with the rumors swirling around Manchester United that if they even wanted to move him on the summer, but they couldn't obviously find a perfect team to sell him to, it looks like Manchester United is really going to move him on, as they want to get in players. They want to get out players who are 30 plus, and they're really earning a lot of money, because Harry Maguire earns close to £200,000 a week. That is really something huge that can act as a blocking factor for the side of Manchester United. So, looks like for him is going to be moved on. Now, we are really having a very huge update coming in through from the side of UTD Menace. You get? They've told us that Garnacho has a minor issue, precautionary. Mainoo, Mount and Maguire, a few weeks, could be sooner depending on rehab. Mazraoui being assessed. So, for Garnacho, it's a minor issue, meaning that for him is going to be a variable as you're playing against Brentford, and that week is really going to be important, you know, for the club of Manchester United, because whether Erik ten Hag is here or away, those 3 games are really going to be important to obviously redeem our season. Against Brentford, if we beat Brentford, better. Beat Fenerbahce, we go to 5 points into the UEFA Europa League. And beat West Ham, that means would have gone ahead to go to 14 points in 9 Premier League games. And if at all we win the 10th, that means we would have gone ahead to go to 17 points. I think that won't be bad as we continue to chase for that bounce back from the people of Manchester United, from the players of Manchester United. For Mainoo, obviously it says a few weeks, meaning that 1 or 2 weeks could be fine for him to return. And for Mount, I think he will recover from a concussion, and after the international break he will be available. But for Harry Maguire, I really believe that his injury looks like it's very serious, guys, and I wouldn't like to see it that we are really forcing him back on the field of play. And I saw Lenny Yoro really went ahead, obviously running on the treadmill, and I was like, all right, he's really getting back from the metatarsal, and he's really getting injured. Remember, he got injured in July, and now it's August, September, October, meaning that early November he might be here, and I'm really gonna be I'm gonna be really doing a video. I'm gonna be doing a video for what's the name of the guy? Maguire, Lenny Yoro injuries. What does it mean for the club of Manchester United, and where we are really heading to? Then for Mazraoui, looks like his injury is really serious, and it might really cost us a season. If you know, you know. So, thank you very much for watching through. But for Mazraoui, I think it comes in through at a time where you pray to it that Diallo doesn't get injured during the international break of Portugal. And we all hope the return of Tyrell Malacia. You get? If Malacia can return into the left back position and Diallo plays at the right back, then there would be no reason to hurry back Mazraoui, however much he has been one of the best performing players for Manchester United this season, as Luke Shaw also looks back to return from injury, as we went ahead to get a very huge setback, and it said Luke Shaw is going to be returning in late November. So, Rock and David is my name. I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about Amadi Diallo, Kobbie Mainoo, Garnacho, all injured. You get? It's a 5-injury blow for the club of Manchester United. What do you make about it? But remember to go into the description box and vote for iDental Care. You get, vote for them because they are our partners, and we've gone ahead, obviously, putting the required shift all possible in here to really bring them and bring you the news. We out. Bye bye.